Now, Harry and Meghan are back in the UK ahead of a busy week of engagements. The Duke and Duchess have travelled without their kids and will attend events in London and Manchester. They'll also jet off to Germany to mark the one-year countdown to the Invictus Games.
Now, the pair will stay at Frogmore Cottage during their visit, only a few minutes away from Kate and Will's new home. Joining us now is royal commentator Victoria Arbiter. Morning to you. Right, so they haven't been back in the UK since the Queen's Jubilee. How's everyone welcoming them?
Good morning to you. Well, I think this is going to be a very carefully managed visit, and there's certainly no expectation for Harry and Meghan to see any members of the royal family. The Queen and Prince Charles are up in Scotland for their summer vacation. Newspapers are saying that Prince Charles, this story has come via unnamed sources, but that Prince Charles did invite Harry and Meghan to visit him in Scotland during their stay in the UK, but that they declined. So that illustrates just how frosty this relationship still is. But I think really what's going to be most interesting is the fact that William and Kate have moved to Adelaide Cottage. Their house is all but 400 feet from Frogmore Cottage, but there's certainly no indication that the Cambridges and the Sussexes are going to be getting together. But I do think that Harry and Meghan have very carefully chosen the organisations that they are going to be interacting with. As you mentioned, they'll be up in Manchester for the One Young World Summit. Meghan has been involved with them since 2014. They'll be in Dusseldorf for the Invictus Games, of course, Harry's beloved organisation. And then they'll be with the World Child Awards on Thursday, another of Harry's most favourite organisations. So they've made sure to stay on friendly territory. And I think with those organisations in particular, there'll be a warm welcome.
Hang on. So you're telling me they're going to go to Manchester, they're going to go to Germany, but they can't go up to Scotland to visit Dad and Grandma?
No, Koshi, it seems that relations are still a little frosty. Let's put it that way. You may remember at the Platinum Jubilee, they skipped out of town before the Jubilee celebrations had even finished.
Yes.
London was still cheering and waving the Queen on, and Harry and Meghan were on a plane to Los Angeles. So I think there are probably still trust issues, given we still don't know when Harry's memoir is going to be coming out. And, of course, the recent comments from the Duchess in her interview for The Cut.
But Victoria,
it
really is. We've been hearing that Charles is actually visiting the Queen every day or so, and that would assume maybe she's, not doing that well, and Harry would take the chance to see her, even him by himself.
I think you used the perfect word just there. Both of you just said how sad this is. And I think there are parties who love the Sussexes. There are parties who loathe the Sussexes. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on when it comes to Harry and Meghan. This is just an incredibly sad story. And the Queen is 96. Now, she had opted not to attend the Braemar Games over the weekend, citing mobility issues. We've got a new Prime Minister being welcomed in the UK this week. And instead of welcoming that Prime Minister to Buckingham Palace, she's opted to welcome them to Balmoral in Scotland for the very first time. So this speaks to the Queen's mobility issues really being something of a concern. I think she's fine and in fine fettle in every other regard. But yes, you would think when someone is 96 that you would take every opportunity to see them. But it seems that certainly from what we know so far, Harry and Meghan have no plans to go to Scotland.
Yeah, is there a bit of a fear that Meghan has this podcast that's released every week now? It seems to have another bombshell each week that it comes out. They're a bit concerned about it?
I think probably, yes, there are concerns. Now, of course, the Queen is somebody who, she's the ultimate diplomat, and she has reiterated over and over again that Harry and Meghan remain much-loved members of the family. She is a peacemaker, and I think she in particular would love to welcome Harry and Meghan to Scotland. Likewise, I think Prince Charles is very conscious of this difficult relationship that he and Harry are enduring at the moment. It was only last week that Prince Harry marked the 25th anniversary of the death of his mother, and it would seem, certainly right now anyway, that the relationship with his father is dead as well. I think it comes down to trust. You just don't know what the Sussexes are going to say next, and the royal family are not known for pushing back on these comments. And so I think with a podcast in the offing, with a media blitz going on, as we know, Meghan is giving interviews to members of the American media to promote her podcast. I think they're all just a little too wary.
Yep.
Well, fair enough. And a Netflix crew apparently following them. Oh, my goodness. OK, thank you very much, Victoria.